I'm not.
All right, I'd like to call the Town of Cedar Lake Unsafe Building Department meeting to order at 5:32. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Beal?
Present.
Dessauer? Present. Mr. Teal?
Here.
Mr. Deutmeyer?
Present.
Mr. Austin is absent. Mr. Bungie?
Present.
Mr. Gatto?
Here.
Ms. Heidig is present.
Thank you. All right, first thing, minutes from June 19th, 2024 meeting and July 17th, 2024 meeting. Any questions or looking for a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion to approve by Mr. Beal, a second by Ms. Dessauer. Can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. First thing, item tonight, active unsafe. Item number 1, 14714 Dewey Street, Urban James Linden. Name and address for the record, please.
Okay, Urban James Linden, 14714 Dewey Street.
How are you doing today?
Oh, wonderful. I talked to Tony about the problems with my house.
Okay.
From the time that I spent working on it, I found it has some very serious problems. I'm going to have to clean out everything on the inside of that house in order to safely take care of the problems that I found.
Yeah.
There is no center load-bearing wall in the house. There's wall, but it's not supported by the main floor. It's between supports. It needs to be moved and made an actual load-bearing wall. And I could not believe what I found in the ceiling of the first floor. It has 2x8s going in one direction, 2x4s going in a different direction. And it looks like what they did was put up the 2x4s, which go from an outside, a side wall, to a center non-bearing wall, to hold up the 2x8s that are going lengthwise down the house for way farther than they should be going. I mean, you just can't span 20 feet.
Yeah.
You know, but with the ridiculous things I've found there so far, I need to very carefully tear it apart from the inside to find out for sure what they did. You can't assume, judging on what I found so far.
Right.
You have to be very careful about it. You can't just assume it was something was done and try to take it apart. You may have missed something, and that's going to be a disaster then. I mean, it's going to fall instead of being able to move and repair that wall.
Yeah.
That
Now,
wall has to be planned first because it's going to affect where doors and windows can be in the other walls.
yeah. Now, Tony, have you been there since the last time you were?
No, I spoke with Mr. Linden on the phone, I think, end of last week.
Okay.
That was about it. I've been past, we've got another project near the end of Dewey Street, so I've been past there multiple times, but not walked around it, not been inside it.
Okay.
Remind me, this has a demo permit active on it right now, right?
I believe so. Yeah, that's why he was deferred to this month. I don't recall what the terms were on it. You guys wanted to see what kind of progress he was gonna make on it, I believe.
So what is your plan now, sir?
I need to strip the walls and ceiling on the main floor in the house in order to figure out exactly what it is they did so I can correct the problems with what should be a load-bearing wall, make it an actual load-bearing wall, and redesign the ceiling of the main floor, which is the floor of the second floor, which I intend to eliminate. The house is now a 4-bedroom house. It should not be. It needs to be a 2-bedroom house with an attic. You know,
Are you doing this work yourself?
at this point, I want to find out exactly what's wrong.
As far as the demo work, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the construction, I mean, you're gonna hire a licensed contractor,
Well,
someone who knows how about load-bearing walls and the foundations.
Well, whatever it's gonna require, yeah.
Well, it sounds like it's gonna
The
need,
major thing would be, probably gonna end up being replacing the roof on the entire house. Well, there are more problems aside from the stupid stuff that I found on the main part of the house. They also at one time added another room to the back, which is the kitchen. For one thing, it's only only 7 foot walls. If that wasn't bad enough, it's, probably at least a 4-inch step down from the other part of the house into that, which gives you a real problem with trying to put in doors back there. If there's any kind of overhang at all, you can't have a storm door, you can't open it. You know, there's not enough room to work.
well,
So
do you
that's
have
probably gonna have to be replaced.
do you have a time schedule as far as how you're gonna proceed? I mean, we've gone a long time and been very lenient, and if you could have found this out in late spring, if you had been,
Well, for several months, I was told, no, don't touch it. Don't touch that, that's unsafe, don't touch it. You know, so,
well, I mean, we
Well,
know,
that was the garage.
well,
With,
that was it.
that was,
I
yeah,
was
that
getting
was,
that story after the garage. No, that's unsafe, don't play with the house.
Tony, do you know how long that demo permit was active for on this? I don't have my notes from the August meeting.
This one,
I don't recall. I'd have
this,
to look.
Yeah.
the last permit was, well, it says 90 days, but it's actually less than that because it was after one meeting before I could
Yeah.
get it, and it expired before this meeting,
It-
so it was,
Yeah, but now that one, that demo permit, was that mainly for the garage before, or was that for the house? I'm trying
I
to.
believe that was for the house.
That was for
The
the house.
garage
Yeah.
was-
Yeah, I couldn't
The
remember
garage
that.
was the same situation where it had expired the day before that meeting months and months and months ago. So
yeah, that was a much shorter permit for the garage, and I took that apart
Yeah.
piece by piece from the top down.
Mr. Chairman, according to my notes, it was a 90-day permit set to expire on the 15th.
Okay, thank you.
15th.
15.
Expired the 15th, the day before this meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then we would have to issue him another demo permit for him to tear the walls out to get a plan, right, Tony, for,
if that's your desire and his desire, which it sounds like it is, yeah. Extend this one, or I don't even know if that's possible because this one's expired technically.
yeah,
But I don't know, kind of like Tim alluded to in the last meeting, I mean, permits are supposed to be good for 12 months. If we can just kind of re-look at his existing permit, and I don't know if we're allowed to change the date on that or not, the expiration.
Well, if it expired, I would think it'd be a new one. I don't know about the extending it.
Right.
I don't think we've done that.
That brings up a good question, though. Going forward, to simplify things, should we make it the day after the meeting? That way, if we did want to extend his
Oh, I
permit,
gotcha.
we could just,
Yeah.
it's because we've been making it the day before.
Right.
Maybe we should consider that, because then it can
Yeah.
just be an extension instead of a new permit.
Yeah.
But too late for this one. So what are you looking for? We understand the problem. What are you asking for?
You understand?
I understand the
Yeah.
problem. We're super clear on that.
I was finding exactly what it is they did do, so you can figure out how to safely fix
Mhm.
what was done wrong, so you can correct the rest of the stuff.
I understand. So what are you asking for? Are you asking for an extension of, or a new demo
For a
permit?
permit to continue working on the inside of the house, and it's gonna be taking off the stuff on the walls, the ceiling, and, well, I have to take it apart that way in order to find out exactly what they did, so you can figure out how it can be repaired from that point.
And what kind of time frame are you looking for?
I don't, it's gonna be months, I'm sure. It's gonna take a long time to take it all apart. And getting rid of all of this stuff.
And as Tony said before, with talks with Tim and stuff, trying to, typical demo permits are good for a year. And so we're trying to get away of the 30-day, 60-day, stuff like that. And so is this one that we're gonna wanna do this with, or for the fact that we know that there hasn't really been any headway? That's the coin flip on this one that I have a problem with.
Right.
Well, I have a problem with not being able to issue a 90-day permit. I mean, we're gonna end up in a situation where,
I agree. I understand on some cases, I can see doing a year, but in this, I would say more with the 90
I agree.
I agree. A year's too long.
on this situation.
All right, I'd like to make a motion if that's okay.
Yes, please.
I'd like to make a motion to, issue a new 90-day permit. Do we need to look at how that falls with the,
Yeah, I don't have I didn't have my calculator up.
3 months, that meeting would be on January 15th.
So expire on the 16th?
So expire on January 16th, 2025. So I'd like to
So
make
we're gonna go for the day after?
Yeah, that way we can extend it, I think it
Yep,
makes more sense.
I like that
paperwork-wise. To issue a permit to expire on January 6th, 2025.
16th,
16th,
right?
I'm sorry, 16th.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we have a motion, for a deferral until January 16th, 2025. Can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Sensauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0.
Rich, can we say anything about, progress has to be made for us to extend it if he's gonna?
Absolutely.
I mean-
We'll discuss that when that time comes. I would say in 30 days, would you? But yeah, 'cause if there's no progress, then we're gonna have, all we're doing is kicking the can every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's why I feel more comfortable with the 90 days instead of a year, 'cause I don't wanna be repeating this in a year.
Agreed?
Oh, no.
So, all right, so see you January 15th.
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
guys. Stop in the office to pick up.
Yeah, Tony, a couple days before they have that?
I can probably put it together tomorrow,
Okay.
so, yeah, if you wanna stop by Friday for it, imagine that would be okay.
Well, something else I thought about is that, once I get all of this stuff stripped off, I would like any of you to stop by and see what was done in this house. I doubt that it's the only house in Cedar Lake that this was done to.
I can guarantee you it's not.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could not believe it when I started taking things apart. Oh, my God. How could anybody do this? You know, it's just ridiculous. It never should have been built the way it is.
All right, so we will see you January 15th.
Okay.
All right,
Happy
thank you.
holidays.
Yeah.
Mr. Linden, the sooner the better on getting the permit application turned in. So if you can get it to us tomorrow, then obviously I'll get it.
Well, stop by the office and request approval.
If you can download and print one out, or you can stop by and grab one.
Well, I'll stop in and see what you have. What specifically is permitted?
It's the same as the one you filled out prior, 2 times prior. The one for the garage and the one for the interior demo that you
Okay.
filled out prior, so. same
Okay,
thing.
I'll stop in tomorrow.
Okay, that works.
Thank you.
Oh.
All right, moving on to item number 2, 9320 West 142nd Avenue, Northwest Indiana Casas LLC, formerly Midland Trust Company, as custodian, FBO Pamela Broadway, account number 1716575. Name and address for the record, please.
Junior Martin, 2701 West 45th Avenue, Gary, 46408.
All right, Tony, did you have any other update on this since the last, no?
Haven't heard anything. I sent you guys those pictures. That was the last thing that I know of it.
Okay. So, what is the plan with the photos that we've seen and everything, the most current photos with the condition of the inside?
I think they're in our email.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Since we met the last time, obviously the original plan was to, make the repairs, and we were putting together the whole work, do with the additional structure repairs that were noticed, once the floors were opened up and everything. And gone back and forth with the contractors, and then mainly because of the amount of time that has elapsed since this was started, you know, and the current, I guess, also the word current layout of the house is obviously very, very strange from whatever was done to it by the previous owners. With the structural repairs, we decided that, you know, the best course of action is just to take it down all the way to the ground and to start over. You know, because at this point, you know, trying to make the structural repairs and then rehabbing it as it sits, you know, it's going to cost.
Yeah, more cost effective.
You know, it's not going to be full on. You know, it would cost somebody, sell to somebody after everything was done. So, the demo permit, you know, that we currently have, it was good through December the 5th. And so, you know, the plan is, you know, to get dumpsters out there and to go ahead and just start the process, you know, taking it all the way down, and then putting a plan together for a new, if you go out to meet with planning or whatever we need to do for. I know Olson has done that with you guys already, so they're very familiar with the process, you know, to get a new layout, you know, for a new build, you know, they're on that lot.
So is your intention to get this down before the November meeting?
Probably not before the November meeting, but that's before the demo permit expires, beginning of December.
So before the permit expires, December 5th.
Okay. So what does that mean for us?
Well, that
The
means
only-
that our meeting after that would be the December meeting.
Yeah, the only problem with that is that you're not gonna be able to do anything then in between
The 18th.
the November meeting and the December meeting. If you get it done before the November meeting, we can take some sort of action with how to proceed with that. If not, you're not gonna get any sort of a new permit until after December 18th. You'd have to come to that meeting as well.
Okay. I mean, we'll definitely try to get it done. Again, same caliber into, I'm not able to do, because of my LLC, I'm completely dependent upon Olson manpower, I'm not able to do the demo myself, and so, just based on the timeline they're giving me, I mean, we can push, the study go with the holidays as well. I'm confident before December 5th, but I'm stuck, not sure that they get it done by the November meeting.
So I don't know if the board would be fine with a 60-day, but if, Mr. Martin happens to get it done before our November meeting, can we get it put on there, or would that be an issue if we deferred it until December?
I mean, for me, I think as long as this is done, I would like to see them in 30 days.
Okay.
To see what's happening with it. I mean, because if you're 30
Okay.
days later and there's no demo.
You're
and-
good? Yeah, okay.
So with that being said, I'd like to, make a motion for a deferral until our November 20th meeting.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion to defer to the November 20th meeting by Ms. Dessauer, seconded by Mr. Beal. Can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Item number 3, 13333 Lamore Street, Vogel. We had an email from the Vogels as far as, the one deal fell through at the house. They were gonna list it. I was a little confused by the email myself. Tony, I don't know if you were?
Well, she had said in that prior email on September 26th that they were gonna go ahead and list on the MLS,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of what she said in yesterday or today's email, that if they can't get it sold, then they're gonna list it on the MLS, so.
Same, yeah, I was confused.
I understand they're trying to do it privately, and it's not my deal, I guess, but she had said prior that they were gonna list it, and I guess they haven't.
Right now, there's no permits on this book, right?
Correct.
Thank you.
And there has been interest in it. We have, you met with that one buyer, there was another potential one that asked for that list of corrections, and I sent it to him.
Mm-hmm.
Evidently, no one has been on it, so.
What's your thoughts?
Well,
Yeah.
what can we do? I mean, they're not here, and
Yeah, they had, prior birthday, I guess, or something, that was why they couldn't make it. I mean, I say we have to do another 30 days on this, you know. Is that your thoughts?
yep, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion for a deferral to our November 20th meeting.
No second.
All right, we have a deferral till November 20th meeting by Ms. Dessauer, seconded by Mr. Beal. Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Tim?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. And then Cheryl, you'll issue them another letter, email, or however you contacted them. Thank you. Item number 4, 7500 West 129th Lane, has Barkowitz on there, but we understand there's a new owner.
Yeah, it's my daughter. You call her Arterburn?
Mhm.
I'm Paul Arterburn. We were never told it was unsafe or anything, so we don't know what's unsafe or...
We'll help you with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is
I can
a,
tell you what I've done so far, if that helps you, or...
yeah, I heard that, you guys came in for a, permit. Was it for a roof or something?
Rough
Yeah.
soffit fascia.
Yeah, unfortunately, the previous owner was well aware that he was supposed to notify the buyer, so I do apologize on
Yeah.
his
I
behalf.
have a listing and everything, it doesn't say
Yeah,
anything on it.
I understand. So,
Do you want his name and address?
oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
sorry. Your name and address for the record.
My address or my daughter's?
Yours.
Paul Arterburn, 502 West South Street in Crown Point, Indiana.
Thank you.
So, can we get him the report?
Yeah, that's fine. We can work with them on it. I mean, it sounds like they're
We're trying.
blindsided by this, so.
Yeah.
The grass already looks a lot better. I drove
Right,
past
we're
it.
trying.
I mean, and the shed is down, so
Shed's
just so
down.
you guys know.
Yeah.
It's all over, so I removed it, threw it out, got rid of it. Like, I ripped that piece of fascia that was hanging down. We're trying to make it
Yeah,
a lot better than it was.
yeah.
So what is your intention, or your daughter's intention?
She's gonna move into it. As soon as we get it sealed up with the soffits and everything, so.
Okay. There was some foundation issues as well.
I think they fixed that before we bought it, 'cause there's no issues that we see.
There's just one corner, I believe it was the north,
By the door?
or
Southwest.
southwest corner. Yeah, I don't know if it was undermined or what was going on
Yeah, it
there.
looks like somebody fixed it before we even bought it.
Okay, well, I mean, it's probably best for us to just go out there, walk through it with you, and
Sure.
never been inside the house, I have no idea what's going on in there, it was all just exterior.
Right.
It was mainly appearance and the
Mhm.
shed, the weeds, soffit fascia, there's one window in the back that's just
Bad.
held in by grease.
It's really bad.
Yeah, so, yeah, he had given us, his scope of work, I think, but I don't believe permit was picked up for it, so we may have that around still, but
And he never told us anything, so.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
surprise.
Yeah.
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 There's nothing I mean, I know house life can be scary, but there's, like, I have no doubt that you guys are gonna do the right thing here. But unfortunately, now that the unsafe board is involved,
Right.
there's a couple of extra little steps. But, you know, Tony meeting you guys out there and just kind of going through
Okay.
what the issues were and what needs to be corrected
Right.
would be step one for sure.
Mhm.
They were not issued the roof permit, I assume?
No, I didn't
they're
really
holding
know
it.
what you guys would've wanted to do, so
Yeah.
kinda held off on that.
Can you get up, I mean, I don't know what your schedule is to meet him out there?
Yeah, Nicole just set one up for next week on either Tuesday or Wednesday, the opposing day would be fine. If you,
Afternoon? maybe?
that's fine,
Okay.
whatever will work. Tuesdays and Thursdays, let me see just a second here if I can, okay, what is Tuesday? She set one up for Tuesday, so if you can do Wednesday, give Nicole a call tomorrow, she's in the building department.
Cool.
I'd like to set up a site inspection, this was via the Unsafe Building Department and Unsafe Building Committee, I should say.
Okay.
And, just let her know you'd like to do it for next Wednesday and
Sounds
get it
good.
set up.
Awesome.
So, not wanting to hold them up,
Sure.
if you go out and you say, all right, there's no reason why we can't pull this roof permit and get going on the roof, we just direct you to get that moving for them?
Yep.
You know, as well as the other stuff that was on your original
Yeah, we'll
list.
take a look at all of it, yeah.
I just don't wanna hold him up for that.
I don't either, no, just as long as the other stuff is addressed too, besides just a roof, you know.
Right.
So if he meets you out there next week and he says, I don't see any reason why we need to hold this roof permit, you guys would be able to go ahead and pull that?
Yeah, is there any way we can get the roof permit ahead of time?
Well, he really needs to put eyes on the house
Okay.
and see what's happening there
I'd like to get the
before.
roof. I'm off for the next couple of days, so I didn't know if I could get the roof started and soffit
I
and
mean,
sealed up, you know?
Rich and I both looked at this house as mainly aesthetic.
yeah,
I just,
It was more unsightly than unsafe.
we just need to be uniform with decisions.
Absolutely.
So however you feel that's best for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually good with, issuing them the permit for the roof, so he can get started on it. I mean, they've already made, a lot of progress on it from what it was, where no progress, with the previous owner. What do we do though as far as the, if this is just a roof permit, see them in a month for the remaining items on the list, Tony, as far as how?
Still an open permit, we can amend it, when it carries into next year, we can't, you know, go back a year and amend the permit, but we can add to it, I mean, it happens all the time, someone gets into something and it turns into more than what they bargained for, and we just end up adding the cost to it, and.
yeah, I'm with Heather as far as moving this and not holding them up, and that's why I feel comfortable with them issuing the roof permit.
Okay.
Yeah.
It already looks a ton better. I saw it today.
Yeah, I drove past it, end of last week, and it, yeah.
So as that stands, you'd be able to pick up the roof permit.
Yeah.
You'd still meet with Tony
Yeah.
on site next week. You have to call the office to schedule that, and then you would need to come back and talk to us on November 20th.
Okay.
Either you or your daughter.
Sounds good.
But then that way Tony would have an idea of what's happening, you would be on the same page with him, we could all get on the same page and then go from there.
Sounds good.
Is that it, Tony?
I think so.
I apologize you weren't notified about that.
Oh, you're
We'll-
fine.
We'll get it right.
Yeah, so a motion for that then?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and issue the roof permit that was already applied for, and a deferral to our November 20th meeting.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion by Ms. Dessauer, seconded by Mr. Beal. Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Thank you very much.
Congratulations on buying a house.
I'll give you a call, Nicole, but she'll be giving you a call.
Item number 5, 8120 Lakeshore Drive, Bang Shots Bar and Grill, formerly Shane's Bar and Grill.
Hello guys, good evening.
Good evening.
Joe Lopez, 8120 Lakeshore Drive, Bank Shots Bar and Grill.
First of all, thank you, it's amazing over there. I mean, it looks like a disaster, but it looks like a much better disaster.
It couldn't have got no worse than what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Every time I drove by, I was like, what's going on? It's getting worse.
Yeah, I seen it to the ground, and I'm like, okay, I didn't know it was going that far.
Yeah, so we didn't know either, but there was those brick veneers that were on the side,
Yeah.
so we tried peeling it back. So we realized when it had the cinder block walls, it had a flat roof on there, and then they built the knee walls above that, and then they put truss roofs, so they had 2 roofs on there. So when the fire happened, the flat roof fell down and it was pushing the walls out. So I didn't realize it then, you know, I could only tell what we could see. So when we took those veneers off, we seen a lot of damage. So we inspected the bottom part of it, all the bottom structures, it's all, everything's solid. It's just everything above that, when we took the veneers off, it was kind of holding the cinder block together. We took the cinder blocks off, we could kind of see it, you know, moving a little bit. So we realized it wasn't safe, and we wanted to take it down and get it cleaned up. We didn't want to leave it, you know, the wind could have probably knocked those walls down.
Yeah.
So by the time we would have secured the walls, we would waste a lot of time, a lot of money. The best decision was just taking the walls down, you know, and you know, re-securing it from the bottom on up.
Okay, well, thank you for doing the right thing with that,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
And I think you met with Tim Kuby after he
Yes.
agreed
Yes.
with you.
Yeah.
I know that, I wasn't at the last planning commission meeting, but I did watch the video, and I did pull up the agenda for tonight. I don't see an updated response letter from Don, so he will be at the meeting tonight, as far as I know.
We haven't gotten one yet, Heather, just for
Okay.
FYI.
That's what I
talked to Adam earlier.
I did, because I did look, so, I don't know where we're at with obviously being able to vote on that tonight, probably isn't looking good.
And also the electrical engineer just got back to me too, and we just submitted that to Don. So that came in late too on our end, so.
Okay,
And I immediately after our last meeting, I went and hired one engineer. He kind of, disappeared on me. He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Then I got in contact with another one, and I told him how important it was, and if he can get it done, so I made an agreement with him. He said he'd get it done as soon as possible, and then he kinda, didn't come in on time as I expected. But he did finish it up. I did turn it, over to Don, so we were late in turning that one in, so that
Okay.
was, but we did everything we could do as we could do it, as fast as we could do it.
So, he's not gonna get a vote with us tonight at the plan commission, so that pushes us to the November 20th meeting at the plan commission. I don't see any reason for him to come back to this board on the 20th.
No, I mean, the only thing would be as far as typically if something's tore down, you'd fill in the foundation, but I don't think it needs to happen on this, you know. I mean, if it was gonna be a regular demo, is this something, is it premature to remove it, do you think, Tony?
Well, I don't wanna remove it, but I'm just saying there's no reason to defer for 30 days and have him come to November 20th.
Okay, yeah.
If anything, I'd like to defer him to December 18th, hopefully by,
Yes.
we're voting on him at the beginning of December, and
Yeah,
he won't have to come anyway.
I'm good with that.
I'll make sure, I'll get the dumpsters out of there. I'll get the rest of the stuff cleaned up, because there's still some debris inside. I'll get everything straightened out and cleaned up, you know. But I got everything mostly contained. There was a lot of dust, a lot of.
How about, there is a basement in there, right?
Yes.
It's secure then, so nobody can get down in there?
Yes, it's secure, yes.
Okay.
I'll make sure I caution it off. I mean, I'll do the best I can do to secure it.
Yeah, that would be my only concern.
And the building department will keep an eye on it too, and if there's any issues, they'll reach out to you.
All the neighbors are great. They call me.
I'm sure.
One of the ladies grew up with my parents. I mean, it's, you know, I was just there. I stopped there before I stopped here, and one of the older gentlemen, him and his wife were walking, you know, close by. He has stage 4 cancer, but she's like, it just gives him something to do, to get him motivated to get out there. He's really enjoying the whole process.
So he's like your unofficial foreman?
And they gave me a whole list, of names that they think that should be a good name for him. They're really good names, and I told them, we're gonna consider those. We want a good name, you know, for,
Oh, that's cool.
it's really cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
People are stopping and grabbing pieces of brick, and it's just, everybody stops and say hi. Everybody's got a story.
That place is a big deal for a lot of people
Yeah,
for
it really
years.
is. It really is. That's why it's been special, so.
Cool.
You
So
know.
you did a real good job as far as safety, getting the barriers. And
Yeah.
when you were tearing it down, it was,
Yes, we're trying to keep it clean as possible, and really,
Great
really
job.
end up just being me and one guy who we did.
Yeah.
So, and plus I got other work going on, so.
yeah, well,
You
I'm
wave
sure.
at me when I drive
Yeah,
by.
yeah, but yeah, we're trying.
So, that being said, there's no sense in you coming to this meeting on the 20th, but hopefully you're at the plan commission being voted on the 20th, and that's, get rid of that. So, I'd like to make a motion for deferral to our December 18th meeting.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion to defer till December 18th meeting, made by Ms. Dessauer, seconded by Mr. Beal. Can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you guys. One more question.
Yep.
Should I stick around for the plan commission meeting?
Greg?
Yes. Do you want a deferral?
Stick around.
If you want a deferral, we can just defer it, but.
But doesn't he have to be there to
I mean, I'll
reflect
stick around,
that?
I just, you know.
I mean, we don't have anything, we know it, so.
You got the president and another board member back there, so,
Yeah.
I mean, what do you guys?
Until we got something from Don, I don't see what we can review. I mean, it's gonna get deferred. There's something you can do.
Well, no, if we haven't received anything from Don for us to review, you're exactly right. I thought he had plans that ready to show us.
They submitted them to Don, but Don hasn't gotten.
Well, then, no, if you want a deferral, then tell Cheryl and she'll bring it up at the plan meeting, and you
Yeah.
don't have to stick around.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a waste of time.
Yeah, and
So that's fine.
So I'm okay then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, then we'll definitely see you, well, you guys will be getting that for the response back from Don,
Yes.
and then hopefully you need to come to the, what is
The
it?
work session. yeah,
November
back to
3rd.
work session,
it will be the work session, yeah.
The Plan Commission work session.
Okay.
yeah.
So that's, November 6th.
November 6th.
Yes, so we'll see you on November 6th at the
Okay,
plan
I'll be
commission.
there. Okay, thank you guys.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank
You too.
Don should have comments by then.
All right, moving on to item number 6, 8705 West 132nd Place, Kubiak Properties. Tony, I understand that he's still working on getting some plans together.
Yeah, Debbie must not have gotten it to him yet or something, he hasn't said anything, so.
But he is waiting for those plans before he does any
Right.
demo. He did not pick up the demo permit yet, right? Pending what's going on with, 'cause I thought he had one in waiting.
That was with the old house plans that they were gonna, I just listened to that last meeting, it sounded like those were kind of fallback plans because they were pretty sure they had the house sold.
Yeah.
So then, once it didn't sell, these plans became, it was gonna be a little too much house for what they wanted to do, and he just kinda scrapped that. I think it was a 2-story, now they're just gonna go with like just a 2-bedroom ranch, that fits that foundation, obviously, so.
Yeah.
Those were kinda like a canned drawing, just an online drawing, but now he's got Ideal Homes making something that fits the foundation, so. I guess she's not done yet, he hasn't said anything.
Do you think 30 days?
I don't see why not, I mean,
What's your thought?
Yeah, I think we need to talk to him in 30 days.
Yeah.
sounded like you thought he'd have them by the last meeting, so hopefully he has them pretty quick here.
Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion to defer this to our November 20th meeting.
I'll second.
Right, we have a motion to defer, by Ms. Dessauer to the November 20th meeting, second by Mr. Beal. Roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Item number 7, 7303 West 129th Avenue, Fouch. Tony, what do we got on this one?
I saw him last week, stopped in to just check his backfill and whatnot, to close out that permit for his foundation repairs. I thought that he was gonna be here. He was going to, or is going to submit us a scope of work for a permit to do the interior and exterior rehab to finish it up. I don't know, I thought he was gonna be here, I guess not.
So you said repairs were done to the foundation?
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, he's
so,
done with
yeah.
that, that's closed out. It's just onto the interior and the exterior of the
Gotcha.
main floor. And finishing the basement.
Another deferral.
Yep. 30 days again?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to defer this to our November 20th meeting.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion by Ms. Dessauer to defer to the November 20th meeting, seconded by Mr. Beal. Roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Moving on to item number 8, 14021 Windsor Street, Mogan.
He's online.
Name and address for the record, please.
Zach James, 14611 Clark Street, Crown Point. Sorry, I couldn't be attendance today, I'm on vacation. Since the last meeting, I've actually officially closed on the house and I'll own it, cleared up all the back taxes, including utility liens, and, got, 95% of the junk out there. We built the first dumpster, so it's real clean in there, all the, the garbage and all the, feces is out of there, the animals are also out. Waiting in the next dumpster to get delivered on Friday, and then we'll start on the internal demo.
Yeah, I did see the email that you sent, so thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking?
Well, I think it's a step in the right direction with, now everything's in his name and stuff, so that should, help out move things along. Tony, what's your thoughts with?
I mean, as soon as he's got a demo to a point where he knows what he's gotta do to move forward, Tim had instructed him in that prior meeting
Right.
that we need to do a site inspection walkthrough with him, so we are all going in the same direction with it, so continue his demo and then, when he's satisfied with how much he's got stripped off of it, and that back wall is secured because that goofy, porch that someone put on it.
Yeah.
We can get out there and get a look at it with him.
That back wall, I've been holding off, I want to secure it right away. I've been holding off because I only have a demo permit at the moment.
Securing the wall isn't necessarily what I would consider reconstruction, that's a safety matter.
Okay.
So you're fine to do that.
Okay, great. And then as far as having you come in for an inspection, my thought is to do it in basically two of them. One, when I've got the walls and the ceiling down, before I remove the subfloor, and then again, so that way we can actually walk through the home mostly, and then again after the subfloor. Does that make sense?
That's fine.
Okay.
So what do we need to do on this?
Well, I'm not sure, how long do you think before that would take place for Tony to be able to come out and look?
Depending on really when I can get him scheduled to come out, in 30 days, by the next meeting, I will be, I think we'll be talking about the actual, permit, the rebuild permit.
So your thought is to get him out there in the next 2 weeks or so, and that way you can come to the next meeting with a plan?
Yeah, I'll have the internal, I get the dumpster on Friday, I have it for 10 days. I don't think I'll need more than one to get it to a point where we can do, a walkthrough.
Okay, and do you understand what you have to do to get that scheduled?
I do not.
Okay, just,
I assume that's called in.
yeah, you call the town and talk to Nicole, she'll be able to help schedule Tony for you.
Okay, great. I will, what I'll do is I'll schedule those now and just make sure I'm ready by that.
Okay, so you're
Stay on schedule.
so you're fine if we do a deferral to the November 20th meeting?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, I'd like to, make a motion for a deferral to November 20th.
Second. All right, we have a motion to defer, to the November 20th meeting by Ms. Dessauer, seconded by Mr. Beal. Roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0.
Cheryl, can we also get that changed, that name change
Yes,
now
I'm
and then?
gonna change it for next time.
I also
Thank you
noticed
for
while we're thinking of it, on number 4,
Yes, if we can get it to,
the number 4, the packet had the wrong,
yeah, it was still,
no, it was someone totally different.
Barkowitz still.
No, it wasn't. And here,
Oh, Torkelson.
yeah.
Yeah, because it was formerly Torkelson before Barkowitz.
So anyways, number 4 needs to be updated as well if you can.
Yeah, I've actually, I'm starting to change it.
Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
But yes, on the,
There's too many-
agenda.
Yeah, too many name changes.
Yes.
And then I don't know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Thank you, you'll save my
And
sanity.
just for the record on that one, and Mr. James, can you confirm, the owner is actually an entity, Tower RE1 LLC?
It is now me first. So James would be the correct name.
I didn't quite hear the first part of that.
He said it was the LLC?
It is, yeah, but then I quit claiming it myself.
Okay.
So I own first.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Moving on to, under permit demo orders, items 1 and 2 Cagnina. I did share, the messages from Mr. Cagnina. He still has had some showings. His question, let me get to it real quick.
The legacy lots?
Yes, which is true, more so on the 7105, right? That's the corner house, Tony?
Yes.
That one is only like 37.5 feet wide, but as long as they, rebuilt on the same foundation, he would be good.
Oh, same footprint.
Same footprint, yeah, because there is no foundation, thank you for that. But he was, let's see, where's that? He said that his agent's actually getting some, feedback from the people that are walking through, saying that there's some, it's hard for them to do anything because of stringent clause that Cedar Lake has on them.
I think it's pretty clear what needs to be done.
Yeah.
It's just the right thing.
I do too,
So-
but I just, yeah. kind of
stringent clause would that be?
Just doing the right thing.
doing the right thing. I mean, this thing has been on here for, you know, I said at least 2 years, Heather said it's been about 4.
I don't know,
Roughly, so regardless,
It
it's
seems like a
been
lifetime.
quite a while. He said that, he's been forced to lower it several times. He's going to be losing money now. And he wanted to know on a time frame on how long he has before it would be demoed. And so I believe, Mr. Meyer, this question would be for you. Was the order for demo, finalized then?
I have it in final now. I was waiting on the unsafe premises report from Tony, which came over last week, or within the last 10 days. So I finished all that stuff up. I meant to bring a copy of it with me. I think I left it at the office, but I'll email it to Tony tomorrow. Once I get it signed by him, we'll record it.
And then what kind of a time frame are those for? Is it 2 years?
Yep, they're good for 2 years.
2 years. Okay, that way I can, respond to him, that he has 2 years, but
But it's up to you guys if you wanna wait the full 2 years.
well, I understand, but I mean, his thing is if he sells it, he said, he wants to know because if he's pressured into it, then he's just gonna have his friends help him demo it and rebuild it, but we've heard that story with the foundation as well. So, here we are.
As I was drafting that order, going back through all the various meetings.
Yes.
This took a lot of different iterations and twists.
And it's a circle that keeps ending up in the same spot.
Just like with any other home in Cedar Lake, there are certain requirements we as a town have
It-
for
it-
anything.
It's not just Cedar Lake, so.
But it's not just because he's on the unsafe list, even if he wasn't, and
Mhm.
someone came in for any sort of a permit, there's a list of requirements that have to be followed.
Yes,
So the clause of Cedar Lake digging in, I don't really understand.
right,
It's
so
just-
I just needed to, since it was written, I shared it with you guys, and so now we know it, yeah, okay.
So, I mean, to let him know that the demo order is alive,
It is, yes,
and it's good for 2 years, but we really can't give him a date on when we would pull that,
exactly.
because if 6 months goes by and nothing's happening.
And the
with property,
condition of it could keep deteriorating in, you know, in a year or less even.
I don't know that I have much patience for a year,
I know, but I'm just saying hypothetically.
hypothetically correct.
Okay, item number 3, that I did, I spoke to Ms. Herrera, after the last meeting when she was not here. She was out of town. I just didn't know what the date was. She did, reach back out to me. I shared the, messages from her as well. She's had some other showings. I'm not gonna pull up the message right now, but she is still actively has it, you know, listed, and people are still coming in and looking at it, but I have no other update. It is secure. She's been trying to keep the yard clean, and she still continues to have issues with neighbors whenever they're over there mowing. Yeah, I know. Update items, I really don't know. Diamond Peak Homes, I know they're still for sale or lease. I don't think we had any discussion on that, right?
No.
No need, it's still secure.
The one on Hilltop's almost gone, I went by that one today too.
Yeah, I believe we discussed that a little bit yesterday, didn't we? Yeah. The 14523 Bryan Street, Tony, Mr. Cox, nothing else yet with the railing?
Handrails, right. No, they just said they were gonna take care of it, didn't really give me a.
I know they said that, financially, they were having some issues with trying to get that, done, but I don't know how long we keep this on an update or how often we get, you know, contact with them. If you reminder or something, or,
Yeah, I see them outside sometimes as I'm going past. I can stop again next time I see them outside and ask if they've got any kind of update, any kind of plan, if someone's gonna do something.
Let me ask a question. Is that the only thing why is
That's
it on
really-
the unsafe list?
That's really it, because they haven't fulfilled that, I guess, that obligation. They took the walls down on that
that porch
Does
thing.
missing railings make a structure unsafe?
No, it just trails along because it's still part of this process, so no. Now, there's a bazillion decks in town that,
So does it have to be on the update list? I mean, it's on your radar, right, at this point, right, with the building department?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, since that one addition, if we wanna call it, to the porch or enclosed porch.
yeah, that's been taken off, so that was really the issue.
I'm fine with that.
I mean,
What's
railings on
your
it.
thoughts?
Yeah, it's just a railing, I mean.
I understand that we want it done as a town, but I don't believe it.
It's not a second floor,
Right.
it's not a second floor, railing.
Like you said, there's hundreds of decks here without railings on them.
Is it more than 3 steps?
It is, I think it's, 30 inches is code, it is over 30 inches, but it's not like, 4 or 5 feet or something like that. It's not anything where someone's gonna,
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
It's a code issue, it's not an
it is, yeah.
unnecessarily.
Right.
Okay.
Do I need to make a motion to remove it?
Just for clarity on the record, I would.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to remove 14523 Bryan Street from the unsafe building, list, but also to have the building department keep an eye on the railings.
A second.
All right, we have a motion by Ms. Dessauer to remove this from the list and have the building department, continue to keep an eye on it with the railing, seconded by Mr. Beal. Roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. 12901 Hilltop Lomberger, I know that they did reissue letters, as a reminder, for Mr. Lomberger. He did pay a huge portion of it. He did ask for a 30-day, extension to pay the remaining balance, that has since passed. So she just issued that this week. Kirsten did, I believe?
Last week.
Last week, okay. So, Fernwood Mogan, that one, I believe Tim still has to get the stuff finalized with the bill, or was that bill done? I think that bill was done, right, Mr. Detmeyer?
I don't know that I have the Mogan bill. I have Ward and Land Bank Builders.
Oh, Land Bank Builders, okay, so then Tim is still working on that one.
Yeah, there was one at the last meeting where he said he just got the invoice for capping the well, I don't recall which one that was.
That's probably it, that's probably the last one, because the invoices for the ones that Mr. Detmeyer just said were already sent out, issued.
Okay.
And just give me 1 second. So we have some time, but it needs to take a little bit of a priority because they opened the estate on September 11th. Pursuant to the probate code, you can kind of use the 11th as the kickoff date. It's probably a few days after. But 3 months is our deadline to file a claim, and that's just going to be a claim within the estate. So we have about 2 months left to get that information to file that claim within the estate because that bill should be paid through the estate process.
Okay, that's something that we'll just have to talk with Tony, with Tim about.
Yeah, once we get the invoice, we'll just file the claim in the estate and should be paid that way.
All right, thank you.
That's a lot easier and cheaper than going through the other process.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
getting liens and stuff.
Yeah. And then the 7029 135th Ward, that one, Mr. Detmeyer again on this.
Yep, I have Ward right here.
Yep.
And Land Bank Builders, so we'll work on, since those are unpaid, getting those filings made in court. Ward, we know will never pay, because as I recall,
Correct.
both of those individuals have passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just gonna, leave that as a lien on the property and see if we can get paid if somebody eventually comes around as an heir to that estate and tries to sell it. Land Bank Builders, I mean, they're still around as far as we know, so.
The Ward one, we already researched, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You need to go ahead and foreclose on it.
Okay.
Yeah, that one back in the spring, we tried reaching out to them and that was.
Is there anybody around?
Next of kin there was, and then there was a
They don't want
dispute. They want nothing to do with it.
I mean, why would you want free money?
Yeah. So, moving on to item 7, and 8 we'll do at the same time. I did speak with Tim a week and a half ago. He was reaching out to Mr. Tully as far as getting out there because he could not go through Glines' property. Glines is still waiting to get his fence up, but we're not issuing his fence until that building is down. So Tim was planning on getting the dumpster over there to tear it down. I just don't have a date. So.
And then it goes back up for auction.
I have to speak with Attorney Austin on that one, because I know he was looking into it with the people that originally had the bid in on it, if that was still gonna go through that route. so. But it needs to be down first before we even entertain that discussion, 'cause that's what killed that deal last time.
Right.
It needs to be priority too, because it is definitely unsafe and we own it.
Yep. And then the Edison one, that would be next on there. That should be it. Other ones are deferrals. Okay, do we have any public comment for unsafe building department? Public comment twice? Public comment 3 times? All right, this meeting is adjourned at 6:27. Next meeting is November 20th.